Kia. My name is Pok. I'm currently a sustainability consultant at Edge Impact, which is an advisory firm. And I studied a Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting and Supply Chain, and I did my high school overseas in Singapore. As I said, I studied Accounting and Supply Chain, and I think what that major sort of like works on is, you're building your business skills and being analytic and being really proficient with understanding the world of business. But however, I actually think that my major didn't fully lead me into my role. It definitely aroused a sort of curiosity in terms of what the business world was about. And then I started to think about, well, what can business do for good? What is its broader contribution to society? And I think that led me into a very different role, and hence I started looking into sustainability, climate change, and human rights, and that's what I'm passionate about. I think there are definitely many different avenues for support. The main one I leaned on was actually the Career Centre. So shout out to Tamsin and Peta for being really instrumental, and I think really helping me to get my footing in university, to getting good advice on how to excel in my internships, to providing good advice even until today, I think, on career options and pathways and things that I needed to do well to excel in my career. There are really a lot of different options, I think, in terms of clubs and extracurriculars you can get involved in. Two of them, I guess, that I was really excited about. First was Impact Consulting Group, and basically we help nonprofits and social enterprises with any business issues that they come forward with, and we use those skills to basically ensure that they are maximizing impact. Because they might not be able to afford regular consulting services. And so we come in as a learning experience, we work with them and try to understand their needs, and we try to build a solution that helps everyone. I think the second one as well is Velocity, and that's a group that really focuses on innovation and entrepreneurship. As someone, I guess, coming in without any understanding of what a startup was, how to scale a business, it really was the one-stop shop, but also the beginning point of my own personal entrepreneurship journey, and helping me to understand, what business looks like, what business for good as well looks like. There are so many options to network and build those connections and relationships that you need to excel in the future. I remember going into a hackathon on social entrepreneurship, and actually one of the judges was someone that I interned for later on, just because I grabbed a random coffee, we hit it off really well, and there was an opportunity right in front of me. And so, yeah, absolutely. I think there are so many pathways for networking, building relationships, and ensuring that you're getting to know people as you study, and real life relationships help you so much more as you progress through your journey in university. So my role as a sustainability consultant involves me looking at climate change and human rights issues, mostly for the government and for the private sector. Essentially, they come to us with a specific problem. Perhaps they're not understanding the human rights issues in their supply chain, or they're trying to adapt to the different impacts of a warming climate, and we provide them with solutions, recommendations, and pathways for change. I would say I don't have a linear path towards getting the role that I'm in right now. What I started with was a whole lot of naivety, a passion to want to change the world in my own different way, and being really focused about raising awareness about climate change, which I think is a really defining challenge for our generation. And a lot of no's from people that we can't do anything about climate change, but also trying to find my own opportunities, trying to network to get my way through, and eventually landing on a few lucky few takes. There was a big firm that really said yes, and that this was a big priority for them, and then started going from there, working in different industries, hustling basically to get through. I think my job has brought me into some very different spaces. I've created a workshop for a winery to be more sustainable in their operations, working with iwi Māori to create bicultural strategies and intergenerational strategies. And I've also been really lucky to work with one of New Zealand's largest museums to think about what strategy building and storytelling means for us in a world of climate change, in a world of crisis and yet opportunity. And so these are some of the interesting examples. There are parts of our jobs that require us to hunker down and deal with the numbers and deal with the words. And there's also opportunities to get out there to understand what your clients actually want. I don't think I quite attribute success or an accomplishment to my career through any one specific thing I did. I think it really was having the courage to see something in a world that needed changing. It was noticing that our voices are more powerful when they're combined. And it was realizing that more of us needed to be part of this movement to work on climate change, to see this as something that not only impacted us as human beings, but would impact the way we did business. It would change the way our governments would think about critical issues in our lives, and to do something about that. And sure, it's led me now to really interesting places to talk about climate change, health impacts of climate, and human rights impacts. And I'm really proud of that. But the most important thing to me is to stand tall for something that you hold very dearly, and to have the conviction to follow that through, having the conviction to create the career you want, the path you want. And yeah, that's something I'm really proud of. My hot take is that university is no longer the time for you to aim for a 9.0 GPA, getting all those A pluses, and being a role model student. It's actually the time for you to form the friendships and relationships that matter, but also for you to reflect on what you are passionate about, what you would like to materialize and bring into our world. And university can then be this place to find the right networks and connections to make it happen, finding the right tutors or the right mentors to give you the advice, and perhaps even finding the resources to make sure that that's something you want to make happen. But this is the time for you not to listen only, but to also actively create, to be part of the future you want to be part of. And so that's my biggest piece of advice. Reflect critically on what makes you tick, what you're passionate about, and find a way to make it happen.
Hello, I am Wynona Dekker, and I am a change agent and entrepreneur. I studied a Bachelor of Commerce at the University of Auckland Business School, majoring in marketing and innovation and entrepreneurship. And I went to Mount Albert Grammar. I've always had sort of this entrepreneurial spark inside of me. I think it was fostered by my parents, which I'm so fortunate for. Both of them have run their own businesses and continue to do so. When I was 9 years old, I was living in the UK at the time. I really wanted to come back and visit my family in New Zealand. And my parents said, great, how are you gonna do it? And so that how are you going to do it is very much instilled. There's no real kind of barrier in a problem. And I think that's why I love change, because it means, being able to lean into, all right, well, let's problem solve this and work it through. I started at the University of Auckland Business School when I was 21. I had a 1-year-old child, and it really became evident to me that I needed a community, and I needed to have something which at that time I thought would be the piece of paper that would prove that I knew what I knew from reading the books that I enjoyed. It was really an opportunity to prove myself, and what I didn't realise that I would get was, the best friends that I could have ever asked for, and lecturers who are still my mentors to this day. Studying innovation and entrepreneurship at the University of Auckland meant getting together in classrooms and building hypothetical businesses, working out how we would take them to market, and having fun along the way. I really enjoyed studying innovation and entrepreneurship at the same time as building Unleashed Space. It meant that everything that I was learning theoretically in the classroom was applied immediately in the workspace, essentially, for me. And to be able to work with my peers, talk to them, and really have a group of people who were curious and would participate in an innovation hub and want to be there as the space in which they would choose to hang out really aided in building something that was fit for purpose for students. Unleashed Space is an innovation hub and entrepreneurial zone for students and staff to come in and prototype and ideate with one another. You've got access to mentors and really the resources in order to be able to prototype and actually figure out whether a business is viable, potentially meet some of your co-founders, build up your team, and just be in a space which just feels very vibrant. It's called the Orange Bubble for a reason. The people that study innovation entrepreneurship are the most diverse in the papers that I have taken. They are just so inherently curious, and they're quite quirky and fun because they've often sort of done their businesses in terms of it could be as simple as something as a lemonade stand, and that's got them into thinking, oh, I could run a business too. I was part of the marketing clubs, the TEDx University of Auckland sort of founding team, and I was part of the Māori and Pasifika Commerce Association. What it gave me was like people who were interested in the same things as me, who were like-minded, but who came from completely different backgrounds. So just because we had the same interest didn't mean that we were the same person. So that diversity of thought was like ever present. Having tuakana, having that community of Māori and Pasifika who I could sit down and converse with and learn with and keep accountable from was such a blessing. Having the lecturer office hours, I remember when I took my grandma to Samoa, and it was right at the crux of like a very integral part of the semester, and I knew well in advance it was the only time that we were going to be able to go, and it meant that I was able to work backwards with my lecturer to make sure that I had everything done before I was able to go. Te Putoa is a wonderful organisation that supports Māori and Pasifika into organisations through internships and graduate programs. I could never imagine myself being in banking until I was part of Te Putoa. I went into ANZ for 8 weeks, and it shattered every expectation and preconception I had of the banking industry. There were so many incredible female leaders, which I learned so much from, who just wrapped their support around me within those 8 weeks. I moved from university to running my own consulting, to working in banking, to then working in the public sector for New Zealand Police. But every single job that I have taken was this underlying niggle of I belong in entrepreneurship, and I am meant to run my own business. So I left my job, and now I am building a venture with the underlying mission that I really want to support 100,000 women to be able to embrace change. And I'm chatting to, the most incredible women who have experienced a huge range of different personal and professional changes in their life. It's a really exciting time and nerve-wracking, and you really have to kind of take the leap and have faith in your ability to do that. But I've proven at university that I can do hard things and a lot of things, and so yeah, I know that I can do it again. I think like the confidence that I got from going to university, I was so confused before I went to university about what I wanted to do, both for myself and within the world. I was really pleasantly surprised at how much of a trajectory change going to university gave me. I went thinking it was just going to be this sort of piece of paper that proved my worth, and actually what it gave me was actually building my worth. There's so many opportunities, and there's so much potential to explore new things. And at university, it's safe. It's an environment that people are willing to let you try. So you may as well do it.
My name is Meghshyam Prakash. I did a bachelor's at the University of Auckland Business School in Innovation Entrepreneurship, Management and Operations Supply Chain. Currently doing my master's in Global Management and Innovation. And my current role is a supply chain or business graduate here at Fonterra. And my high school is a little old school up in Northland, Springbank, up near Kerikeri. I originally did the Young Enterprise scheme, was involved with that for a number of years, did business in high school, and that really helped me choose the degree that I'm currently doing, did. And I think when I joined into university, this was roughly 2020, COVID hit, pandemic hit, supply chains were pretty much crumbling left, right and center, and then I made a conscious decision to also take up supply chain, and so that kind of set my path forward in both the supply chain space and the innovation entrepreneurship space. So yeah, I went in wanting to do innovation entrepreneurship, and then I left looking at supply chains as an opportunity. Inspiration-wise, I think it started with my family. So we ran a small family business up north in the hospitality and restaurant space, and that really got me interested in the food space, especially. I grew up in a small rural town up there where a lot of farmers typically tend to come along and have chats and conversations. And so I really got to connect with them and learn more about what they do for our community. And so that inspired me to really explore the food space a lot more. And I think it was just being in the right place at the right time, learning about Fonterra, learning about their opportunities, and then applying for the program that came along. I think a business degree is not something about making money. It is a part of it, yes, but I think it's more so the idea of people, connecting with people, growing relationships, innovating in spaces that you wouldn't think you could really touch. I think it's so diverse, the field that you're involved with. You could be, one day working in engineering, as I was with Formula C. The next you could be working with biotechnology. The next you could be working with space. The next you could be working in dairy. So there is just such a wide scope that you're not limited by what you think a business degree is. Rather, you're just limited by what you can imagine that business degree to take you to. So the University of Auckland Esports Club, I was their treasurer for a year. When I first started university, learned a lot of financial skills from there. Then I moved into the University of Auckland Formula SAE 47 Club, which is our a race team at the University of Auckland in Newmarket. I was there for the last 2 years of my degree, and I was involved with their business division as the marketing manager. A lot of people that I got to work with, and even myself, it's difficult to figure out what you want to do, and you don't really need to know what you want to do. When you come into university first year, you actually get so much choice with the business school that are not expected to pick your major till the second year or third year. And so once you've kind of understood and had a flavor of different parts of the business school, you could come to the careers kind of leader space, and we were really able to help craft your entry so that when you leave to go into the job market, you've got the best shot at landing the kind of career that you're wanting to do. When I saw the Coupe Leadership Scholarship, it really resonated with me, and I applied straight after my bachelor's for it, did the interviews, got in, and it was just a fascinating leadership journey throughout the year. Got to learn from some amazing speakers, had a great mentor who really guided me not only through research and masters, but also for my career going forward. So Coupe has been a huge part of my recent life, and also just the community that you get to build afterwards with really passionate people who are focused in so many different areas to bring the country to a better place. I think the favorite thing about my job is definitely the people. There are so many great personalities here that you get to just grab a coffee, have a chat about work, solve problems on the spot. We're a very open environment, so you can just go walk around the corner, chat with someone that you just sent an email to, see how we can solve the problem. And so the people are really great, and they're definitely what makes this place tick. As well as, I think, the variety of work. There's so much to do, and there's so much things to learn about. It's just endless. You're always learning. I think giving things a go. I think that's been the proudest part of my career pathway. Just simply, if I didn't apply for the food and grocery internship, I probably, I wouldn't have gotten the Nestle internship. I wouldn't have gone where I am today. Back in my high school, I was part of the Youth MP. So if I didn't apply there, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to meet some great people and set my career path up in that space. So I think that's the thing, is just giving things a go. You may not fully succeed, and that's okay. And that's about learning from it and growing as a person. And so I think just giving things a go is the best part of my career journey so far. And it's led to where I am today and where I look to go into the future.